Today we're working on day 26 of our 30-day scrap quilt challenge, and today's prompt is low volume, all soft neutrals. Hi, I'm Jackie of Junk Gal 63 Studio, and here we do all things scrap fabric. Friends, today's quilt block is kind of like a soft whisper in fabric form. The quilt block is the Flying Squares quilt block. This one first popped up in the Ladies Art catalog in the late 1800s. Yep, it's pretty old, but a classic. I think you're going to love it. I love these antique patterns, and I'm always trying to find those for you guys. And as long as they're easy. This block only requires 2 fabrics, but you know how we roll around here. If it can be scrappy, it will be scrappy. This block is all squares and rectangles, easy breezy, beginner friendly. And I'm always trying to introduce new techniques to all of you, and today is no exception. We're going to be learning a new technique called the partial seam. But don't panic. Partial seams are kind of like parallel parking. It's intimidating until someone shows you the trick. I'll walk you through the whole process step by step. And of course, for each day in this challenge, you have a prompt sheet that you can download. I will leave a link for that prompt sheet down in the description box below. And we only have a few days left. Can you believe it? All right, no rules, no perfection. Let's get started. Let's go over the materials you're going to need for this 12-inch quilt-as-you-go block. First, the scrap fabric. And today is low volume, so I went through the scrap pile to see what I could find, and I found this that I could get 4 7 3/4 by 3 inches rectangles. And then I have these two. These are 3-inch square. So you're going to need 4 light fabric rectangles that are 7 3/4 inches by 3 inches. This one, sorry about that. So 4 of those, and 13 squares, and 13 squares that are 3 inches square. 8 are dark and 5 are light. And here is the pattern, and you can see in the center there's a 9 patch, and it's going to be very easy to assemble. And like I said, I'll show you how to do that partial seam. You'll need 1 piece of batting, 12.5 inches square, 1 piece of backing fabric, 12.5 inches square, and you can see I'm using all my scraps, so I sewed some together so that I could get this, which is perfectly fine. You'll need any rulers that you want to use to cut your fabric, an iron and ironing surface, and your basic sewing notions, and your sewing machine, of course. First, we need to make the center unit. Whatever you decided was going to be your light fabric, then go ahead and put those right here like a checkerboard. So you'll need 5 of those, and we'll go ahead and lay those out. I chose this fabric for that purpose. So we're just going to go like this. And there's 5 of those. Next, we can call this fabric number 2. This will be fabric number 1. So fabric number 2, I just chose this print. You've seen me use it before. I just want to use it all up. That will go here, 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 and here. And you guessed it, we're just going to make a 9 patch. And again, if you want to screenshot this, there's the pattern. We're going to sew our 9 patch together, and I'll meet you back here. And for this particular type of pattern, we want to press the seams open. It just seemed to work better. Okay, guys? All right, I just wanted to turn on the camera, so I wanted to show you how I press the seams open. Just like that. On each of these. Then I will take this and go to the sewing machine and match up those seams. I'll pin where I want to sew, and I'll meet you back here. I think our little 9 patch turned out so adorable. And it's using low volume, neutrals, just like our prompt said, but I still think it's pretty effective. All right, the next step is to build the rectangle and square units. You need to make 4 of those, and those are just as easy as our 9 patch. So you'll just take 1 and just put this together, and number 2, pin, and then you can just chain piece these. And we have 1 extra, and that happens when Jackie's cutting. And we'll just put this together. Let's chain piece these together. And on the seams, open those seams as well. And this is what our rectangle and square units will look like. Just like that. And if you flip it over, you can see I opened up those seams. Next, let's take a look at our pattern here. We're going to lay this here. Hopefully you can see that. Then we will take this one here and then we need, let's see here, this one's going to go here. Oh, there we go. I was thinking I cut something wrong, but I think we're okay. And then this one is here, and our cute little 9 patch is in the center. Okay, let's work on our partial seam. We're going to take this at the top, and we are going to connect it to our 9 patch. Okay. Go ahead and pin that seam like that. And then there's no seam there, so we don't have to worry about that, but I would go ahead and put a pin in. Now, here is the key. See where this ends? We want to be a 1/4 inch from the top and a 1/4 inch from the bottom and stop. So what you can do, we're going to sew from the back. The easiest way is to take any ruler that you have and get a 1/4 inch. This little ruler has a 1/4 inch here, and then there's my 1/4 inch here. So what you can do is mark 1/4 inch there, and it's from the edge of your 9 patch. And I'll show you that in a minute. And let me draw my 1/4 inch here. And it looks just like this. You just want a 1/4 inch corner and then make a little dot. That's where your needle needs to stop. See where that dot is? So you'll sew all the way down as you normally would. Let your needle stop on the dot. Do a back stitch because there will be some stress there. And I promise this is the most challenging part of this, but it's not really challenging because you guys are going to get it, okay? Again, we took our top piece and we pinned it along here, and then we just made a little square, and then we put a little dot at the edge of the square where we're going to sew. You've got this. I'll meet you back here. Okay, so here is the piece all sewn, and you can, hopefully you can see where I stopped my needle right in that dot and I did a back stitch. Okay. So now we can take a deep breath and not worry about that for now. We are going to press these seams open. I forgot about that. Hold on. All right, here's what it looks like, and here's how I press the seams open on the back. And we've got this little guy just hanging on till the end. So now we have enough here to connect this. Line up any seams you have, and that would be this at the bottom. Pin that if you'd like. And then we'll pin it at the top. And we'll just do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm just going a little slower because I just want to make sure everyone can catch what's going on here. I want you to be able to do this. I just love this block too. This is awesome. So hold on. This side is on, and here is still everything is pressed flat, except we had a little challenge here, which is fine. I wasn't watching on the sewing machine, but it's scrap fabric and we're gonna let it go. Okay. All right, now we're ready to put this one on. This one will be pretty easy too. So then go ahead and pin that. What do you guys think of the flying squares? How fun, huh? I will be going back and making this scrappy. So this is, I'll add it to my list. We've found a lot of great blocks during our challenge, haven't we? All right, let's get this sewn. I'll meet you back here. I've showed you guys before, but there are a lot of new subscribers. My husband cut me a 1/2 dowel, a dowel rod, and then hopefully you can see that, I did not glue the top, but on the bottom, I just glued with fabric glue a piece of batting on all around this, and I used this to press seams open. So let me turn this. It just makes it much easier for me. And you'll just go right along there. Because you've got that curve of the wooden dowel. Makes it very, very nice. I think you can buy these online too. But if you've got someone who's handy with wood and they could cut you a dowel in half, you could glue the batting on there and it looks just like this. Nothing fancy, but very handy. All right, let's get rid of this. And we have one piece left. We have this guy up here that's just kind of hanging out. And what we're going to do with him is, see how we left that 1/4 inch seam right there? We're going to pin him back so he doesn't get in the way. Just give him a pin, and then this guy will get sewn onto here, and I'll go ahead and do that so we don't get confused. All the way up. So here's what our corner looks like. We've got that flap pin back. We're going to bring this piece up we are going to put these two together and pin. And I'm just turning this so it's easier for me to pin. And this is a seam to seam. So I want to match those up the best I can. And then I will, but don't sew this piece of fabric yet. And then what's going to happen is we're going to bring this out. Well, you'll see. I don't want to get ahead of us. So we're going to move that out of the way. But let's sew this one and I'll meet you back here. We have the side piece on. We have this little guy hanging out here. We're going to take that pin out. And then all we're going to do is flip this down. And it looks like it's a little off, and that's not unusual for me. But anyway, you'll flip this down and it's going to fit perfectly so that we can sew across here, and then where I left off, I will do a back stitch, and this block will be complete. So just fit it in there the best you can. Pin it if you need to. I think it's going to fit fine actually. But if you have any questions on it, just let me know. But when you fold it back, it should fit perfectly. Now mine doesn't because I'm not an accurate sewer, but I think we're going to make this work. So I'm going to go sew this up until that mark where it all started, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, what do you think? We did it together. We even did a partial seam. And it does look like I'm off like 1/8 of an inch here. But I did allow for some trimming. Let's grab that batting. Put that on there. Yeah, I think because of my ironing here. But it's fine. It's perfectly fine. And then our backing fabric will be right side down. Yep, like that. How cute. All right, and let me bring you out. Hopefully you can see the pretty fabrics. And you can see where I'm off a little bit here, but we're not going to worry about it, right? Because it'll get trimmed off. I love this block. I'm going to go quilt this, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, I am back from the sewing machine quilting, and here's what I did. I just went around the squares, but I think this turned out so cute. I love this block. And we got to learn how to do a partial seam, which was fun. All right, you know what's left. We have to square it up. Let's see where our 6 lands. We did good, guys. The diagonal line is right here. Our 6 is in the center. Let's see if we can get it a little more center. Yeah, and I still have enough room for my 12. I think I will move it up just a tad. And I still have my diagonal line, and I still have my 12. Maybe up a little. Yeah, I'm off just a little here, but it's fine. Okay, here we go. And then flip it around. Put it on the 12 right here. And oh my, how pretty is that? Before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. The Bible verse is from Lamentations 3, verses 22 and 23. Through the Lord's mercies we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. On days when life feels overstretched, kind of like the bobbin thread that runs out right when you're on a roll, remember that God's mercy begins fresh with every sunrise. Each small step we take, even in quiet moments at the sewing table, can be a reminder that his faithfulness is steady, gentle, and renewed just for us. Let your heart breathe that in today. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and commenting. It truly means the world to me. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to hit the subscribe button, because we only have a few days left in the challenge, and I want you to be here when we finish the quilt. And until the next video, God bless you.